Welcome back to Being Your Best Self. I just wanted to welcome Thor, who's come to join us today. It's wonderful to have you here. There's Andy, there's me, and we're going to be talking a bit more about superheroes. And we wanted to start with something that Thor brought to us around the hero's journey. So I'm just going to ask Thor to just open this up as we have this conversation.
So the hero's journey is very close to my heart. I discovered it when I was ill back in 2003. And I'd lost my health. I lost a lot of relationships, financial insecurity because of that. So I was really, there was a lot of stuff happening and I was trying to find meaning. And I came across a guy called Campbell, an American anthropologist who basically spent most of the 20th century and his life studying world religion, studying folklore, speaking to Inuits in North Canada, going up, Australasia, really mapping out the different sort of stories we've told ourselves, the myths we've told ourselves over millennia.
Yeah.
And because he was a great pattern spotter, what he realized is that all of these stories actually followed a pattern. There was a path, there was a map that he could identify. And he basically sort of mapped that and called it the hero's journey or the hero's quest.
Wow.
And it always starts with a call to action or a call to adventure, which is normally something that jolts you out of your everyday, jolts you out of your habit energy.
Yeah.
And there I was, I'd been, sort of an action bunny doing lots of things, worked in films, worked in the city. Yeah. And then I was floored overnight with an illness that left me bedbound for some months, housebound for some years, and took me 7 years to recover in total.
Wow.
So I'd lost a lot. It was a big call to action.
Yeah.
And it helped me find meaning. And obviously I'm originally from Iceland, hence my name Thor. Yeah. So I'm really steeped in mythology. And so that really resonated with me to help myself find meaning. Okay. So as you go through your quest, once you've had your call to action, like I had my call to action, once you've had your call to action, there's then the quest where you are confronted with your fears, there's lots of growth. You need to do like training. So if you think about like Star Wars, when Luke Skywalker, his call to action is basically that his family home is burnt down.
Yeah.
He then has to go on a training where he's learning to be a Jedi, So yeah. I did my training, which wasn't as glamorous and surely won't be a movie, but it was that everyday thing of actually doing the things I needed to do to get myself better. It was like doing my, trampolining, doing my meditation, taking the supplements, so there's a lot of training. There's the kind of almost like the second act of every movie or play has a montage in it.
Yeah.
Where people are like, doing the training, whatever it is. And that's kind of what the hero has to do to upskill themselves, to learn the lessons they need to take from here to then go forward.
So do we take from that, Thor, that actually we all have the potential to be heroes?
Not only have we the potential, but we all are.
I love that. Okay, that's cool.
That's the premise. Yeah. Because the story he used is the story of the Golden Buddha. I don't know if you know that story.
No.
The Golden Buddha is the story. So this is, I think it was back in Thailand, 3,000 years ago, or whatever. No, it won't have been because the Buddha was only 2,600 years ago. So let's give or take the time.
Some time ago.
Yeah, some time ago. So whatever neighboring country was coming to invade, and they were after all the gold in the Buddha monasteries.
Yeah.
So there was this huge Buddha that was all made of solid gold. So in order to protect the Buddha, they layered it in clay. So they basically camouflaged it like it looked like stone, which wouldn't be of interest to the invading army.
Yeah.
They stayed in occupation for some hundreds of years or whatever, give or take. So everybody forgot that underneath the stone, there was gold.
Right.
And it wasn't until one young monk was meditating and he noticed that there was a chip on one of the fingers of the Golden Buddha, of the stone Buddha. And he was like, ooh, that's not stone. So he went and had a little bit, took a bit more stone away and saw that there was gold underneath. So he ran back to the village going, it's gold, it's gold. So everybody came over and they started chipping away at all the clay or the stone and actually saw the Golden Buddha within.
I get that. And that's what you're talking about when you're describing how people, like you talked about your training and what you're doing. It's all about removing the stuff that hides the beauty that sits inside. Yeah.
Exactly. So we all have that Golden Buddha. We all have that golden nature. It's just through years of stuff.
Yeah.
We have built up all these layers that are basically inhibiting us more and more and more and more until, like me, we're like that.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, so I'd already taken some steps. I'd already left the city thinking this is not a good place to work. I'd gone to uni, but within 6 months I was out. I was so far gone physically, mentally, socially, that I could not sustain it. And basically my casing cracked.
Wow.
That's amazing. So I hope that's really sat with you there. If you're seeing something in this, we'd really love to hear a bit more about it.
Absolutely. Just that little chip on the finger. Remember, there's a tiny little thing. And also, you know, I'm not Neo. I'm not Luke Skywalker. I'm not, you know, whatever in Uma Thurman and Kill Bill or whatever. I'm just like, you know, everyday person going about my everyday life. And I think we often think we need to be something big in order to be heroes. But I think we all are in our own way.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thanks, Phil. So if this has resonated with you, and this is something you'd like to explore more, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love you to put some stuff in the chat. Thank you, Thor. That was brilliant. Thanks, Andy.
Brilliant. Thank you. Pleasure.
Bye.